welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to check in for this vlog. It's currently Monday morning at around 8 a.m. so I'm very tired, which is why I'm making coffee. And I wanted to get a little bit of reading done before I had to go into my work day. So I'm currently reading Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. If you've ever read that book, I'm sure you have opinions on it. It's known to be one of the most controversial books of all time. I'm actually surprisingly liking it, but I'm really curious to see where the story goes. I'm about halfway through right now, and I just want to get a half hour of reading in before I do work. So that's my plan for today, and I will check in with you periodically over the rest of the day. I just wanted to do a quick check-in. It is now a little bit past 11 a.m. and I did do some reading this morning, which I was pretty proud of myself for actually getting up early and reading. This is the book I'm reading. I don't think I've shown you. Lady Chatterley's Lover. I love the cover of this book. I found it at half price forever ago and I love it. I think it's so pretty. It's the 1995 edition, which I love. Who doesn't love 90s old school covers? But I don't really have time to read right now. I have to edit this article that I'm working on. I'm trying to practice my writing skills during quarantine. And then I work for a motivational speaker. I have a work call. So it's kind of a busy day. But that's okay. I want to be productive, and then hopefully I'll get some reading done later. But I just wanted to check in and say I am a little over halfway through my book. I'm actually surprisingly really loving it. I've been putting it off for years. I've been wanting to read this book for a long time, but I just felt like I wasn't going to like it, so I just never picked it up. And then since we're in quarantine and I've been forced to order books or just read the books that I have, I was like, why not? It's short, I'll just read it. And I'm kind of liking it. I'll get more into my thoughts a little bit later. But anyway, I need to get back to work, but I just wanted to do a quick check-in with you, and I will talk to you a little bit later today. This is me trying to make my first thumbnail. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. If you have any advice, please let me know. I could use it greatly. Yeah, so I don't know how much time I'm gonna have for reading today because I feel like I have a lot of things to get done. And I feel like one of my top priorities is to actually get my booktube channel up and running. And I'm planning on posting my first video today, which is crazy, which is why I'm creating my thumbnail right now. And I definitely wanna prioritize that. I noticed in my last video when I was rewatching it that I never asked people to subscribe to my channel. And obviously if you can subscribe to my channel or like this video, that would help me out a lot. I'm getting used to this whole YouTube thing and I'm trying to learn as much as I can, but I have to keep reminding myself that I have to remember that getting things done is more important than getting things right. And I know that every video that I put out will hopefully be a little bit better than the last one. So I keep telling myself and not get down on myself for making mistakes. But yes, if you could help support this channel, that'd be very awesome. And I would really appreciate that. Okay, I just got off my call from work and I literally have so many things to do today. I'm so overwhelmed. I did not realize how much I had to do, and I'm glad I read this morning because I don't even know if I'm going to have time to read later today. Hopefully I'll be able to read before bed because I want to get some more pages in. But I think I'm ready to actually publish my first booktube video, and I wanted to take you along for the journey. So let's make this go public. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Oh, nope, that did not work. Already don't know what I'm doing. Oh, here. Sorry, I'm looking at it through my phone. There, okay, I think I'm done. Yay, officially a booktuber. It is Tuesday at 3 p.m. so it's a little bit later than the last time I checked in with you. I honestly was so busy last night and I kind of just like wanted to relax and just do what I need to do for work and everything, and then I woke up today and I had more work to do, which I guess is a good thing that I'm keeping busy, but I haven't had a ton of time for reading. I only read 30 pages yesterday, but I'm hoping to read more today. And I actually woke up early again and read a little bit this morning. I'm still reading Lady Chatterley's Lover, of course, since I barely read yesterday. I just got to the 200 page mark though, so I have a little over 100 pages left. I'm really enjoying this book. I don't know if many people have heard of it. It's a classic. Some people may have read it in school. I never did. But let me just give you a brief synopsis, just in case you're interested. It's basically about this woman, Lady Chatterley, but her first name is Connie. Her husband fought in World War I. He came home and was paralyzed from the waist down, so he was in a wheelchair and she had to take care of him. She obviously is in the upper class, as you can tell by this title, so they live in a very lavish house. But because she and her husband cannot be physically intimate anymore, and they've also lost a lot of their emotional intimacy with each other, she has been feeling really lost and lonely. She also has to spend most of her days taking care of her husband because he can't do a lot of things for himself. But then when a nurse comes to help out Connie, she starts taking care of her husband, so Connie has more free time. She starts walking around the grounds of where she lives, and she meets the keeper of the estate named Mellors, who ultimately becomes Lady Chatterley's lover. It's a really interesting story. It got banned and is really controversial because of all of the talk and the smut that's in this book, but honestly, I think it's a lot deeper than that, and I think it really talks about, you know, the differences between men and women at the time. It also really talks about class because she's in the upper class and her lover is obviously in the working class, and I think it's a really interesting read. If you're looking for a classic that has to do with romance and is an easy read because this was written in the 20s, I would definitely pick this one up. So I also got some book mail, which I'm really excited about, and I actually got it yesterday, but I was just so busy that I didn't have time to open it, but I wanted to open it with you guys. So let me show you what I got. I'm so excited. Okay. The first book I got is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I don't know why I ended up picking up this book. I think I was really interested in reading about post-apocalyptic books, and obviously with everything that's going on in the world, I thought this may be an interesting book to read. I don't really know much about this book. All I know is that it's about a pandemic that wipes out the majority of the world's population, and it's about this girl who I believe lives in a traveling troupe, and they go around and present Shakespeare plays for the remaining communities. I'm really interested in reading this book, especially at this time, and I have read post-apocalyptic books in the past and I've liked them, so I wanted to try one that is obviously very well known. And then the next book that I got, which I'm sure every single person has heard of, maybe if not read, is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I wanted to get the Penguin Classics edition because I wanted to make sure I got like the original text, but a lot of people I know read this in high school. I never got to read it. I was visiting Princeton out in New Jersey, and I actually saw a play where they were performing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I thought the story was so amazing that I decided to pick it up. And I've been trying to challenge myself to read more classics this year, and so since I've been wanting to read this book for a while now, I thought what's a better time than to do it in quarantine. Do you see this? every time you order books from Amazon, they're always damaged, but that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Also, just a note about ordering books. I think that, I mean, I know that I order a lot of my books from Amazon, but I have been doing a little bit of digging online, and there's actually a ton of ways to order books from smaller bookstores. So if you're on Amazon, you can obviously order from a third-party seller, but I actually recently ordered a book from Etsy. You can also order from eBay or just like other secondhand book retailers, and that's just a really great way to support small businesses, especially bookstores during this time. So just a heads up, if you want to like stray away from Amazon, I would recommend looking at just like eBay and Etsy just as an alternative of where you can buy your book. My plans for the rest of the day is probably get some more work done. I want to read more today than I did yesterday. I'm gonna try to hit 50 pages. That's my goal. If I can go above, then great. I'm only reading one book right now, which is honestly so refreshing because the most I usually read at a time is 3 books, and I just find that can be like very overwhelming. So I'm kind of liking reading one book at a time until an audiobook comes in, obviously from my library. But I will update you in a little bit, let you know my progress. But please share below what you're reading. I would love to know. I'm always looking for book recommendations, especially classics if you're a classics reader. Let me know what your favorite classic is, and I'm excited to hear from you. So I just got to page 270 in my book, which means I read around a little over 90 pages today, which I'm pretty proud of myself for doing. So now I'm actually going to go FaceTime with one of my friends, and I will check back in with you in the morning. It is 5:30 on Wednesday. I just finished the last 40 pages of Lady Chatterley's Lover, and I really liked it. I'm so surprised I liked this book so much. I've been putting it off for so long because I've been so nervous to read it, but I was really worried about the end because I wasn't sure how it was gonna end, and I thought there would be some like really explosive like thing that I was worried about, but it actually ended up and wrapped up really well. I don't think I would change anything about the ending, especially the last line of this book was so funny, and it like was the epitome of what this book is basically. If anyone has read this book, you know what I'm talking about. I really liked this book. It's honestly a book that I'm already planning on rereading at some point because I think this is one of those books you have to read twice just to really make sure that you're picking up on all of the little things that are happening. But as I said before, like I think the writing is really, really beautiful. I would even consider reading one of his other books, and I think that this book is a lot deeper than some of the things that it's generally known for. But I'm very impressed with it. I'm actually kind of curious to know where the controversy is with it. I mean, I understand there are some controversial things, but I want to research a little bit deeper on why exactly this book was banned. Because if I am correct, I believe this book was banned basically right after it came out, and which was in 1928, and just got unbanned in 1960. So that's like a very long period of time. But I might do a little bit of research and figure out why. But anyway, I don't really have time to read for the rest of the day because I'm actually going to watch the Michael Jordan documentary. I don't know if anyone's been watching that, but it's really good. So I'm going to finish it tonight. And then I'm going to probably pick up, what's it called? Station 11 tomorrow. So I'm really excited to start that book. I kind of want to like take a little bit of a break from a classic and go back to like contemporary book and then maybe go back to a classic, but that is my plan, and I will hopefully check in with you in the morning. So I was doing a little bit more research on Lady Chatterley's Lover, and I didn't realize how important of a book it actually was because, as I told you before, it was banned almost right after it came out. And then apparently in 1960, there was a landmark case in Britain where they acquitted Penguin Random House for publishing the book. So they basically allowed Penguin Random House to publish the book that was previously banned. And this was a really big deal because it basically gave authors like more right of freedom of expression and being able to talk about obscene topics in books and using language that a lot of people, you know, deemed unacceptable. And because of that, after this case, people were allowed to basically write about whatever they wanted, and it made the publishing process in Britain more liberal, which I think is really interesting because a lot of the books that we read today, you know, some of them are like very smutty or they have language that can be very controversial, but just the fact that we have authors that are able to write what they want and have their freedom of expression, I think is really cool to know that all of the books that came before them allowed that to actually happen today. Hello. Okay, it is officially the next day, so it's Thursday at 5 o'clock. I'm obviously not that great at checking in the morning, but that's okay. I actually had something exciting happen today. I got more book mail, which I wasn't expecting because I thought this was gonna come next week, but it came today. And this was one of the packages I ordered off of Etsy because my Amazon package got delayed and they were out of stock. So I was like, I'm gonna support a small business. So I decided to order off of Etsy from a small bookshop in Maine. But now I'm not gonna order books for a while because I think I should be set for the next few weeks with all the books that I got, but I'm really excited to open this up. That's so cute. Okay, sorry. I always have to like take in a book before I can actually like show it, but it's Different Seasons by Stephen King. And I really loved the first edition cover, and I decided, why not try to find it online? And there was plenty. I spent $13 on a mass market paperback used, which is kind of a lot to take in, but I think it's so pretty, and I feel like I'll enjoy reading it a lot more. But I cannot wait to read this. I actually might put Station 11 on hold because I really want to read the first novella. So if you didn't know, Different Seasons, it's made up of 4 novellas. The first one being Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, which many of you know is a very famous movie that I have never seen, and I don't know anything about the story, but I know that I want to read it before I watch the movie. So what I might do, since they're all separate novellas, I don't have to read this book all at one time. I might read the first novella in the next couple of days and then watch the movie this weekend. But I'm pretty pumped because I've been waiting for this book for literally weeks and I cannot wait to get started. I've only read one other Stephen King book. It was 11/22/63, which I really liked, and for some reason I've been really wanting to get into his writing. But since I'm not a horror person, I decided to start with his non-horror books and maybe work my way up to them. So I will probably start this today, and I will let you know if I make any progress because I have not done any reading today so far. I'm about halfway done with Shawshank Redemption. It's only about 90 pages, the novella, so it's not really long. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna love it because it's known as being one of Stephen King's like best novellas, and obviously it's a really famous movie, but I'm like kind of struggling with it, which makes me like really sad because I was really expecting to love it. it's just different than what I'm used to, because I'm used to reading novels, obviously, and novellas are shorter, so I just feel like there's a lot of information that's being crammed into like this short novella, and I just feel like, so I guess I should tell you what it's about. On the back of the book, it says, an unjustly imprisoned convict seeks a strange and startling revenge. That's basically it, yeah. So this guy, Andy, was wrongfully convicted, and I don't even, yeah, this is what I'm trying to say, is I don't really know where the story is going, because as of right now, you've learned why he's in jail, but you don't really know, like, what the point of the story is. Like, it just seems like it's a bunch of random events that I'm assuming are going to lead to something, and just talks about his experience in jail. I think what's interesting about this novella is that it's narrated by another inmate and talks about what he's seeing of Andy while he's in prison. And it kind of reminds me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, if you've ever read that book, how it's narrated by like more of a supporting character rather than the main character. I do like how it's written in second person, how when he's telling the story, he's speaking to the reader, which I think is pretty cool, but I'm like really hoping my opinion of it changes. And obviously when I watch the film this weekend, I will let you know what I think, but I don't know, I'm really hoping that it gets better. I just filmed my booktube newbie tag, and that was probably like the most awkward video I've ever shot before in my life because I'm not good at like sit down formal videos where I have to like speak to the camera, which is why I love making vlogs, because it's way more chill. I finished, not this entire book, I finished Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. It was a really short story, as I told you. It was only 90 pages, and my opinion did change. Let me just say that. I did end up really liking the second half of the novella. I thought that it wrapped up really, really well, and all those like little pieces of information that I told you I was getting really confused about, some of them did come back and kind of wrapped up together. I'm really excited to see the movie. I feel as if I'll really like the movie. It's like a feel-good story. I mean, there's a lot of like harsh things in it, trigger warning for sexual assault, but the message of the story is so beautiful. And like I said earlier, I was talking about how the story is told from the perspective of a side character, but after finishing the story, I kind of disagree with that now, because I almost feel like the main character, Red, is just as important as Andy, and I feel like it was not just about Andy's journey as he's trying to seek redemption for being wrongfully accused, but it's also Red's internal journey and what he's going through, and how, you know, Andy's impact on him as a person. I almost felt like that was more the point of the story than anything else, but I really liked it. It really, really reminded me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey, which I love that book, and they were so similar. Like, I'm really wondering if Stephen King got inspiration from that book, because just like the moral and message of the story and just the things that happened were so similar. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about or if you agree, but overall I'm really glad I read it. But as of right now, I'm actually going to take a break from different seasons and not start the second novella, and then I'm going to actually read Station 11 before I pick up the next novella, which is the novella that I'm the most afraid about reading, but we'll see what happens. I haven't read anything else today because I've been editing this booktube newbie tag for so freaking long, and if you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I think I'm just gonna sign off on this vlog, and you'll catch back up with me in next week's vlog. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could subscribe to my channel or give this video a like, that would really help me out a lot. And until next time, miss you guys. Bye. Missing someone.